Hey everybody, I'm Todd Clippinger, an American Craftsman. You know, the card scraper is one of my favorite tools to use in the shop. It's a very simple tool, and there's been a lot of articles written on how to sharpen it. You got to use a file, and you got to hone it with a stone, and then use a burnisher to turn the burr and the hook to the right angle. Anyways, it gets very complicated. Now, I get feather-like shavings using just a file, and I'm going to show you today how I sharpen my card scrapers in the American Craftsman workshop. Now, I think it's important to talk about how I use the card scraper, because this is going to put my sharpening method into context. The card scraper is part of an overall workflow. That may start with the drum sander, which leaves track lines because it doesn't oscillate. The card scraper will quickly remove those track lines. Then I always follow the card scraper with my random orbital sander, and then I can apply my finish. But I never go straight from my card scraper to the finish on my project. So please understand that this sharpening method is not intended to give you a finish on your wood that will allow you to go straight to your top coating. So let's take a look at how I sharpen it. Okay, here's how I sharpen my card scraper using just a file. I leave a mill file chucked up in my vise on the bench, and I simply hold it at a 90. I don't use jigs or anything. I simply hold this at a 90 to the file, and I stroke it 3 to 4 times. Then I flip it and stroke it 3 to 4 times more. This simply creates even wear, so I don't end up with a tapered card. Now I flip it over and do the other side. Now watch this. And I can push the card or I can pull it and produce feather-like shavings. There we go. Okay, now here's the method in close-up again. I simply hold the card at a 90 to the file, and I stroke it 3 to 4 times. Turn it around, and stroke it 3 to 4 times again. This just helps create even wear. Now I'm going to do the other side. Now watch this. I think right there, the proof is in the pudding. Now I've been working on a piece of soft maple. So how does it work on other woods? Well, I got some other samples. I have a piece of reclaimed Doug fir flooring, and it's got a finish on it. We're going to give that a shot. Here's a piece of that same flooring that's been stripped. We're already run through the planer. But of course I use the card scraper first. Here is a piece of Brazilian cherry flooring. Very, very dense wood. Very difficult to plane. And also, here's some curly maple. And this is very difficult grain to either plane by hand or with machine. And I'll produce some fine curls with this too. So let's take a look at some of these other woods. Okay, now here's the Brazilian cherry flooring. This is very difficult to plane either by hand or with a machine and get nice results. A lot of times I have to finish this out in the sanding machine. See, I can push it or pull it. I get some nice shavings, real feather-like shavings with that. Okay, let's try another one. Let's go to curly maple. Okay, here we go with curly maple. Oh, look at that. It's coming off really nice. Got some angel hair there. Look at that. Okay, now here's something I want to point out about how I use the card scraper. I press in the back and create a little bit of a bow. And as I push that, I create the shavings. What I do is I move my thumbs to the left and to the right, and I start utilizing not only the center cutting area, but I start using off to the side, to the right, and to the left. Also, this helps produce a cooler card. There we go. Look at that. See, now I'm using this third of the card scraper. Now I'll move my thumbs over to the right, and I'm using the right. This side's already cooled down. Also, you'll see me flip a card scraper a lot because that allows it to cool down. If I'm stroking, generating heat, I'll move my thumbs over a little bit each time I pull it back. And then you may see me sometimes flip it. Okay, that card scraper's cooling down. I never have to wear gloves and I never burn my fingers.